Well, I hope everybody is well and you are working on your lessons. We have covered lesson number two. Thank you. We have covered lesson number two, clearing in the sky, and today we have a couple of tasks to do. Let us begin with the exercise. We won't be able to do the whole exercise. Why? Because it is meant for the next week. But there are a couple of other things which we'll do. One is composition task, and there are some other tasks I'll let you know. But before we go to the composition, let us do the exercise. Okay. So please be with me. If you have textbook, page number is 15. Choose the correct answer. The old man wanted to show his son patch of clearing. C option. The day was hot. A option. Next we have, how many years ago did the doctor advise the old man to take rest? 14. D. How many children had the old man? 5. What did the old man cut with his pocket knife? A wisp of alfalfa. How many years did the old man improve the land? 30. Why did the old man hunt for the squirrels? To cook for meal. What type of special tree was found by the old man? Coffee tree. The clearing on the top was not more than three-fourths of an acre. The acre. The land was fenced by the old man. Okay. Now come to the next page. Questions, answers, and true false we will do next week. Let's do use the correct form of the verbs given in brackets. 1. I carried a basket of dishes to mom. 2. I knew how hot it was. 3. I followed him down the little path. 4. I bought this little farm around here. And number 5. Is that what you wanted to show me? Okay. Gentlemen, now take some time and punctuate question number 6. It's on your screens. Let me fix it. This is a punctuation. Please go ahead and do the punctuation. You have 5 minutes time to do it. I'm sure you are done. Have you done it better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I will show you the same thing on the screen and you can tell your answer. Okay. And rest of you be attentive, please. Please go ahead, Safwan.
Inverted comma. Now you are. So you and are. There is a
Yes.
apostrophe type in between.
Okay, here
Coming to
comes
something.
apostrophe. Here comes apostrophe, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And
and N will be
now the N will be
capitalized.
capital. Yes, sir. And it will start with inverted commas.
Okay,
Now you are coming to something. Son. Uh, Inverted commas close. Another comma. He said, as he pushed down the top wire, so that another inverted comma. He could cross the fence. This, inverted commas. This is something I want you to see. Exclamation mark, inverted commas, closed, and a full stop. And I will be capital as well.
oh, okay, fine. So I'll do for rest of the class here on the screen. Let me go down slightly. Okay, punctuation. You can see it. It's already there in your book, but the point is when I do it, you see it, it makes sense to all of you. Okay. Let me just open the exercise and I'll do it for you then. Okay, let's write it the way it is already there. Now you are coming to something, son, he said, as he pushed down the top wire so that he could cross the fence. This is something I want you to see. Okay. So now you're given something like that, okay? Something like that. Okay. And the first task you are supposed to do, which can help you. First of all, don't try to do anything with it. Just simply try to understand what exactly goes on in the text. Let me read it very slowly and try to understand it. Uh, when one passage is given to you from the book, wherever you are stuck, uh, the instinct is just to go back to the book and see where you are stuck. The same thing I keep telling to the students of mathematics, that those people who have a key book around, they hardly learn real mathematics because wherever they are stuck, they go to the key book, open it, and see. Okay. So very soon after reading a couple of lessons, I will find out some worksheets for you, which you will not be able to find any answer of those sheets. And in this way, that will be the real understanding of punctuation. So you will do it with your own minds. Okay. Now here, now you and are. Basically, this word is you are. And here one rule applies. I will tell you what is the rule, but let me read it first. Now you are coming to something, son. Okay, this is one thing. And then he said, and you know, when you say he said, let me highlight it with yellow. This is a reporting speech, in fact, and you are coming to something, son. This is reported speech. Okay, this is reported speech. Let me change the color of the text so that it may stand out. Now you are coming to something, son. It will be, now it will be highlighted properly. Now this blue, bluish color, whatever you call it, it looks something like blue or green. Uh, it is all reporting speech, and he said the yellow one is this is reporting speech, yellow one, and the blue one is reported speech. And when you decide which one is reporting speech and which one is reported speech, then you recall all the rules which apply, and you understand how to do it. As he pushed down the top wire so that he could cross the fence. Now here, this one is extra remark from the writer. It is neither reporting speech nor it is reported speech. Okay, cross the fence. This is one idea. And then there is another idea. This is something I want you to see. Okay. Now, the other thing, this is something. Now, here again, you have a reported speech. Okay. I'll make it again, if you call it blue or green, or whatever you call it. Now, let us do it now. Now, we know the first rule that the beginning of the sentence is always capitalized. I will capitalize it. Here it is. Now you are. And since it is reported speech, I'll either put a single inverted comma or double inverted commas. Since mostly here British system is followed, so I'll put a single inverted comma. Now you are. And you are, basically here the rule of apostrophe applies. Rule the rule of apostrophe. And what's that? That is something like the rule of apostrophe is something like that. Okay. Let me make it orange for you. The rule of apostrophe. The rule of apostrophe in this form is, since you have missed. What you have missed? You have missed this sound. A sound here. You have missed it. Okay. And therefore, what exactly you will do? You will have to put an apostrophe. Why? Because what exactly you have done? You have not written R here. What exactly it becomes then? You put an apostrophe and it's correct. Now you are coming to something. Now here you can take a pause, something, and then son, another pause. Okay, and you close your inverted commas. Why? Because after that there is reporting speech, and you need to separate your reported speech from the reporting speech. Only 16. Turnout is very small today. I don't know. You should be happy. This is the weekend.
We didn't get your link.
Can you say it again a bit loud?
We didn't get your link. My classmate sent me. Yeah.
Okay, I posted the link, but I didn't write any comment with the link. And next time I will, of course, write the comment. I thought that at this time, if you get a link, you by now must have learned that this link is for joining the class. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. I will write my remarks as well every time. And should I paste the link again over there? Let me check it. If you see, if you go back here in stream, this is what I have done. I'll show you. Here is the link. This is the link I posted for you. Okay, I have reposted it. Let's hope so that now things become clear to you. Okay, so the rule of apostrophe is clear, and we find that our reported speech has been done. We have put inverted commas, and now we come to he said. He said is reporting speech, but at the same time he said, after he said, there is another remark, an extra information which is given with a word as. And as is linking the next part with the previous part, it means two actions take place simultaneously. When he said, this is one action, as he pushed down the top wire, and this is another thing. It means that the saying and pushing down the top wire took place together. Okay, so therefore there is no comma. Here there will be no comma as he pushed down the top wire so that he could cross the fence. And here comes a full stop. Okay. And after that, you have another reported speech. And what you will do with it now, you will have to put a inverted comma, then capital this. Why? Because you have put a full stop in your last sentence. So you will have to start it with a capital. This is something I is always capitalized. I want you to see, and then there comes a full stop. Some people may use a sign of exclamation, but that depends now how you understand it. Okay. So this was your punctuation task, which we have covered. The rule of apostrophe. I'm sure many of you know it. It's not very difficult at this stage. Is it so? Do you understand the use of apostrophe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Fine. Okay. We will keep using in different exercises, and gradually, even if you don't know, you will learn it. But I just want to make sure that you have got the idea of this punctuation. How many of you think that this thing is quite clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Thank you for being with me. Let's go back to our today's task, that is letter writing. Letter to the editor of a newspaper on the rise of noise pollution. So this is your topic, and I'll give you a couple of uh, guidelines before you go ahead and do it yourself. Lobster is tricky. Georgia will be fine. Okay. Now, our typical letter again starts in the same way. Examination hall, comma, city, colon, A dot, B dot, C, and then comes date, and today is 24th April. So April 24, comma 2020 full stop. Okay, and your letter starts with dear editor, comma, go to the next line and start your letter from here. Even if you are writing with a pen or ball pen and on a piece of paper, so your pattern will be very same. But one thing more, which is very important, and you need to add it, that is the subject of letter. Subject comes here, and what is the subject? Subject is increasing levels of noise. Okay. Increasing levels of noise. Well, because the rise of noise pollution. This was something which was given to you, and what exactly out of that you have carved your own subject. Subject is very important and it needs to be short, and at the same time it needs to be something attractive. It should not be very blurred or blank. It should be always, eye-catching and short and concise. We call it concise. Subject. Some people, what exactly they do? They indent the subject. Where is indentation? Okay, maybe we find it here. No, not here. Okay, we can simply indent it like that with our space bar, and it looks outstanding if it goes here. Okay, dear editor, go to the next line, and here starts your letter. Now in the first paragraph, first one or two paragraphs, basically the introduction of the problem will be discussed. And what exactly the introduction of the problem is, it all highlights different kinds or different sources of noise pollution, or the noise pollution, the form of noise pollution which you find all around, that will be depicted here. Okay, that will be depicted here. Here you will also mention your locality. Okay, what is the locality where you are facing this problem? And again, very important question, that is how to start it. What will be the first sentence? Let me help you with. It can be something like that. I would like to highlight the problem of, or the ever increasing. If you want to emphasize the ever increasing problem of noise pollution. This can be your first sentence. And after that, you will give a complete introduction to this problem. Yes, any ideas what you can write in the introduction to the noise problem? Okay. For instance, you tell your locality where exactly you live, and then you will have to tell what are the sources of noise. And of course, can be if you are very close to the industrial area, there can be noise. If it is, there are certain, the mechanical work is going on, it can be another option. Okay, but please don't write like that if you live in a colony nearby airport or railway track. Even if you write such letters, these things cannot be changed. So you'll have to either change your residence, or you'll have to get yourself used to it. There is no other way to solve this problem. Okay. Traffic, honking by different drivers. This is one reason. If you live very close to GT road, this can be minimized if we educate them. Okay. So let's see what you do here. After the introduction, which I think will, if you write a couple of paragraphs, say about 2 paragraphs, that would be fine. Okay. So please write here at least 2 paragraphs. 2 paragraphs here. Okay. And after this, what exactly will come next? 2 paragraphs. Once you are done with the introduction, these letters in which you highlight certain problems always have 3 important components to discuss. The first one is your introduction, or the problem itself, introduction of the problem. In the second phase, or you have a couple of paragraphs for causes. If you, first of all, you can generally tell the problem, and causes you will discuss in the first paragraph, and here you will write down the effects of the problem on people. Maybe insomnia can be one. Insomnia, which is sleeplessness, is called insomnia. And distraction can be another problem. Okay. And irritation is another problem. High blood pressure can be another problem. Okay. And you can write a couple of more problems which come to you. These are the effects, but you should not write the effects the way I have written. You should mention certain incidents, 1 or 2, how you feel, how students feel, how people feel. And you can also add some evidence. I will at the end of the, but I think I should tell you how to add evidence here. How to add evidence. That would be very, very important to know it. Why? Because in my last lecture, when I taught you how to write a letter, I missed this thing. I remembered it later on once the class was over, and I thought it would be a good idea had I told you how to add evidence. So for instance, take just insomnia out of this, not everything, but in your letter you should write on everything. Okay. Insomnia, I'm taking it for evidence. I make it yellow, okay, so that it has some link with how to add evidence. Now you are discussing that in your letter, that high level of noise has caused insomnia in some of the students. Let me write it for you, how you will make your space for adding an evidence. High noise levels have caused insomnia in many students in our locality. Okay, and after that you put a comma and you write the words of one of the students. For example, Bano is one of the students in your locality, and I can't I can't sleep because of because of this noise, and it has affected my studies a lot. Full stop and inverted commas close. Okay. Now here, this thing which is added here, inverted commas close, uh, comma, inverted commas close, said Banu, one of the one of the students in my street. Now, this is something you have added an evidence in this shorter paragraph. Okay. Here comes comma as well. Okay. Now you see, you have discussed these problems and you want to give an evidence from a person. Evidence is that somebody uh, has faced a problem and you convey it. Evidence can be anything. It's not always a problem. So what exactly you have done? First of all, you have made a space for it. High noise levels have caused insomnia in many students in our locality. This is what you have told to the editor. But in order to emphasize on what you said, you have added an evidence, and your evidence reads, I can't sleep because of this noise, and it has affected my studies a lot, said Banu, one of the students in my street. Okay. Uh, and you can give another evidence if you go on in the same way. Just go to the next page. Again, put an inverted comma. I think now you want to talk to distraction. I think noise is distracting. Invert comma, inverted commas close. Salim and other student and other student edit. Now it means you have given an other piece of evidence which comes from an other student whose name is Salim. I think noise is distracting. Salim, another student added. Now here I would take a pause and come to you back. And what exactly I'd like to tell you that how many pieces of evidence are more than sufficient? One piece of evidence, two pieces, or many pieces? Well, in a balanced work, I would not like you to go for so many pieces of evidence. In one paragraph, if one important piece of evidence is added, which before making its proper place, before leveling a ground for it, I think so it is more than sufficient. Two pieces of evidence in the whole letter will make it stand out if the letter overall is well written. But just pieces of evidence without any, making ground or space for them will not be very smart option. So overall, you will have to make a balance what exactly a letter is. Let's go back to the letter again. We have added a piece of evidence. Let us go back and see how much we have covered. In this letter, we have discussed introduction of the problem, which will be based on two shorter paragraphs, and then effects. And some of the effects which I have shared with you are: people can face the problem of insomnia. There can be a kind of distraction. Some people may feel irritation, and some people who have already cardiovascular problems may have high blood pressure and symptoms like that. And maybe other things which are not on my mind but can be on your minds and you can add. And then I tell you how to add piece of evidence. And let me tell you, in personal letters, in informal letters, mostly we don't give pieces of evidence like that as we have done in formal letters. But the purpose of a formal letter and informal letter, that's also, they are completely different. You can't say that they are same. Okay. Now we are done generally with the introduction and effects. And every letter which discusses a problem, it will stay incomplete unless you add some recommendations or solutions. So the last part of the body of the letter will be solutions, which are critical, which are important, very, very important. And now we are here on the solutions. Now you will write a couple of solutions. Some people write them point wise. For example, here you have one, then you have one, let me tell you, it's one. Okay. So you write here something, then it will go ahead. For example, this one, and then you may have second one, third one. I think at least you should go for three possible solutions. But you may write more. You can write 4 solutions or 5 solutions, or sometimes you do not write give solutions, or you may not have solutions. You have then suggestions. Suggestions. So you will write down your suggestions, and once they are done, so you are done with your letter, and then we'll come to the conclusion, how to conclude your letter. You will not write conclusion, but if you want some response from the authorities, you can write one last line to address the authorities here, that I I hope that this problem, I hope that this problem will be addressed. Will be addressed. We cannot say as early as possible. Why? Because administration, they have their own priorities. I hope that this problem will be addressed in order to alleviate, in order to this issue. This issue, let me write it, issue here. UE, issue will be addressed in order to alleviate our problems. And after that, you'll write yours faithfully, because you have not started it with the letter, with the name of the recipient, and then x dot y dot z, and here your letter comes to an end. Now I'll give you some times, about 2 to 3 minutes, and I would like each one of you to go through it. Okay. And how many of you take notes when I lecture like this? How many of you take notes? Okay, fine. I think everybody should. Taking notes is so much important. Let me show you one thing which I did. Last time, how many of you know that I have interest in automobiles? How many of you know it? Okay. Maybe you
Okay.
don't know. Many of you have not been my students, so you don't know this thing. Now, look, at this stage, now, what is my age? You know it better. And even yesterday I was learning something about uh, automotive uh, engine, and when I read it, I have taken my own notes. Okay? Maybe you can see it here or not. Okay. You can't even see, but I have taken a lot of notes here. Okay, and make even pictures. Now I think so. It makes some sense. Can you see these pictures?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, when you learn something, you cannot learn it. At least I cannot learn if I don't do something with my own hands, and I can't see it on the board. It's very difficult to understand that idea. And I'll urge each one of you to take short notes. I will also make sure that I put one copy of this lecture, but I basically will upload this video on my YouTube page. Whenever you visit the page, you can watch it. Okay, and I have already shared the link with you. Keep watching things. There are so many things you can learn, not from me, but from everybody. From you can learn it from one another as well. Okay, fine. Now we are left with some time. What exactly we're going to do? You will at least write the introduction of the letter. Okay, you have only 8 minutes time. So I have seen some of you sign out at the end when I give you some writing task. That's unfair. Without practice, it's only a television show. It has no importance. So please open your rough notebooks and go ahead and try to write the introductory 2 paragraphs of the letter. I will show you again what I'll show you. I'll show you my lesson which I delivered to you. Okay.